This is the Cyprus News Digest with Rosie Haralambous.
Coming up this week, there's been an increase in reports about abuse of the elderly.
Things are going a little bit better than last year, even though we had an increase, because this increase is not measured as serious incidents like before.
The Bicommunal Peace Initiative is organising a gathering today, 3 o'clock this afternoon, if you'd like to join them to demand the opening of more crossing points.
Since 2003, around 150 million crossings have taken place.
And we'll hear about upcoming environmental workshops organised by the Friends of the Earth.
The first one is called Climate Freeze, based on climate change, where participants, they're going to have a space to discuss, to be empowered and collaborate in order to find solutions regarding climate change. And the second activity that is going to be on biodiversity.
Last year, there were reports of some 270 mistreatment or abuse cases surrounding elderly care homes on the island. We're joined by Dimos Antoniou, who heads the Cyprus Third Age Observatory. Dimos, we've spoken before, but I saw a report in the paper not only saying that there were these 270 reports, but that you were actually pleased that there were no reports of elderly people tied up in care homes, and that shocked me. So bring us up to speed, if you will, with what we've had in the past and how things are progressing.
Yeah, even though we had an increasing amount of reports for abuse, either physically or verbally, things are going a little bit better than last year, even though we had an increase, because this increase is not measured as serious incidents like before. So things are getting better in a way that they are more like, let's say, if I may say, cases of maltreatment like we've had in the recent years, like the tidying up in the chairs or more heavily physical abuse.
Well, hang on a minute. What constitutes serious abuse?
Serious abuse is beaten up, or let's say throwing boiling water on them, or burn them with cigarettes, and all this sort of stuff.
This has been going on in the past? Yes.
Indeed, and that was shocking to us as well, because we never expected that in our little country that we had people doing these things to older people, especially people with Alzheimer's.
This is absolutely disgraceful. Now, I also read, and I hope these incidents aren't continuing, that personal hygiene wasn't being looked after, and that in an attempt to save money, some care homes fed their residents leftovers.
Yeah, that was in the press. That was in the press actually many times in the past. We didn't have many reports on that, but we have a few that the Social Welfare Department was aware of. So we did a report to the Social Welfare, and I know that some of these nursing homes, they closed down. So the government took immediate action, and together with the Cyprus Ombudsman, it was a coordinated, it was a coordination between these two departments, and some of these nursing homes closed down.
Hang on a minute. Can you just tell me who is responsible for giving somebody a license to run a care home for the elderly, and what sort of checks are put in place before the license is given? And I hope they include the training of the staff.
Yeah, it's a social welfare department. It's the Deputy Ministry of Social Welfare, and as the Cyprus Third Age Council, we are insisting in changing the legislation to make it better because it's aged legislation. So we need to include new good practices. We need to include training. Because so far the license was more or less about if they have the right facilities. They didn't have the entertaining programs or prevention programs and all these things that to keep the older people active in the nursing home. So we are pushing the Ministry of Social Welfare to change the legislation and make it on the, let's say, anthropocentric model of care and all that.
And how far down the line are they with regards to drawing up this new legislation?
We don't know. We know that it is in the Ministry of Social Welfare. So we don't know where this new legislation is, and it will take months and months because they need to check it and then go to the parliament and then vote it, and maybe it will take up a year or so to enforce the new legislation. But we form a committee in the Cyprus Council of Third Age. We agreed on many things. If you imagine, it was the legislation was ready when Zeta Emilianidou was still alive. So since it's been 3 years now, 2 years or 3 years now. So, and we are pushing towards that direction. But the biggest problem, Rosie, is not in the nursing homes. It's in the older people homes, private residences. That is the biggest issue, because according to our report in 2023, we have only 11 incidents in nursing homes. In 2024, I think it's about 15 or 18 minor incidents. But the biggest issue is in the private residences.
So what's the difference between the two?
Because there is crimes behind closed doors. And most of the incidents, 40% is by domestic helpers, and about 60% from their own kids and relatives. So we have incidents that their children were drug addicts, so they were beating them up to get their pension, or to include them in their bank accounts, or steal their credit cards, and from domestic helpers, because they come to Cyprus to take care of the household, not to take care of older people. They don't know how to treat them. They don't know how to treat people with Alzheimer's. So, and we have a lot of incidents of physical and verbal abuse.
Okay, now in a private home, I can understand that it's very difficult to, if you like, make sure that these are correct reports, because I presume it's neighbours or somebody who might end up bringing it to your attention. But let's go back to the nursing homes where people have a licence. And one of the things I suggest to you is that it might be very difficult for somebody who visits a relative in there to actually make a complaint, because the chances are that if they do that, the person that they're complaining about, or the homeowner itself, may decide to take retaliatory action by actually getting worse when it comes to your relative. That's very worrying.
Yes, because they're afraid. They don't report it, and when they report it, they just call and they say, okay, in X let's say nursing home, there is this thing. My father lives in there, and I just want to take it out and just inform you, but I cannot go to the police or make an official complaint. and that stops there. And this is what we are fighting. I mean, for people to go ahead and report this to the police. This is the only way we can stop these things happening in the nursing homes.
Well, the other way, of course, is for the relevant deputy ministry to carry out inspections. I think sometimes they inform the homes that they're coming. Well, that's a bit pointless, isn't it?
I cannot tell you that. I'm not sure about that. But obviously, there is a lack of personnel. And I have said that in public to the ministry as well, that you need to have people in the social welfare department that knows about aging and knows how difficult this age is and how particular this age is, and that they need to, let's say, reinforce the legislation, because if you go to a nursing home and you see that let's say 90% of the workers there do not speak Greek, it's an issue. So why don't you report it?
Well, we're back, aren't we, to the legislation for letting somebody open a care home. Because if you've inspected the care home and spoken to the staff, one presumes that you would know whether they spoke Greek or not, and be able to say, well, you'll have to employ other people, otherwise you won't get a license.
Yeah. So, and this is what we're pushing, and this is one of the main issues, because if you don't speak Greek, how the hell you will take care of somebody? And even let's say if they know a bit of English. What about older people? Maybe they don't speak English. How you will communicate? So it's an issue. It's a big issue.
Well, it certainly is. I'll see if we can get any response from the Deputy Ministry of Welfare. Mostly when I contact government agencies at the moment, nobody ever gets back to me, which suggests that they'd rather not talk about it. How good is your access to them?
We have good access. We talk about these things. Some people, they try really hard to overcome these obstacles, and because, they have their own parents, they have their own grandfathers and grandmothers in nursing homes. They know what is going on. They know the particularities of older age. Some of them are very sensitive, but they need to bring more staff in. I mean, in some years, 30% of the population of Cyprus will be over 65. And now maybe we have 5,000 or 6,000 in nursing homes. Maybe in 10 years we will have 10,000 in nursing homes. So
well, we won't unless we get more nursing homes, and we certainly won't be able to call them nursing homes unless they are properly set up and inspected.
Yes, I totally agree with you, yes.
So where do you go from here?
So as part of the national strategy that is in public debate, and the public debate ends, I think, in 15th of January, NGOs that we're dealing with aging issues, we need to sit down and together with the Ministry of Social Welfare to go proposal by proposal how to deal with this thing and force them to materialize or to realize all these things that they are publicly announcing. So enough with the announcements, we need to get down to business.
Yeah, we're very good at announcing. We're very good at announcing things and not quite so good at implementing them, are we?
Yeah, and this is our priority for this year, because we had, let's say, many announcements. Some of them, they are getting realized right now, like the 20% of discount in the electricity to vulnerable groups, like the low-paid pensioners. We have this announcement that the government will pay over and above, I think it's 1,300 euros for people in nursing homes that they can afford it. That, of course, is not realized, but I think in January they will realize that proposal as well. But I think that we need to push hard, and the government needs to understand that, okay, enough is enough. You need to do something about third age. There is no room for excuses anymore.
No, indeed.
So
And while
many,
you're on
yeah.
that subject, sorry to interrupt, while you're on that subject, the red buttons. Now, we've talked about that over the last, 5 years? What's happening about that?
Yeah, from 2019, we are trying to implement this program. We really don't know. We were in talks with the government. We are still waiting. I don't know what will happen, but definitely, if we don't get a definite answer that they will move forward with the red button, I say publicly, we will withdraw our proposal, and we will do it with an investor and end the story, because it's something that society needs it badly, and we cannot wait.
Well, it's the government's responsibility. And once again, what is the Department of Welfare saying about that?
It's up to the minister. It's up to the ministry of. It's not about the social welfare department. It's up to the ministry. It's their policy. Ministry of Social Welfare, and we're still waiting. But we give them until the end of the month, and if we don't have any news how we will move forward, we will do it as an NGO privately and start doing things. Because if we leave it to the government, it will take another 5 years.
I think that's the basis on which this government seems to work, is that if they don't do anything, other civil society organisations will come in and do it for them.
Unfortunately, I mean, we see examples in Europe that they have this red button for decades, and how many lives were saved, or how many thousands of people they got help in emergency situations, or even psychological support. Most older people need. So it's fundamental for us to proceed with this project.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck with that, and indeed with getting through to the relevant ministry about the care of our elderly. I suppose we should be glad that fewer of them are being tied up. I can't believe that in this day and age.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Definitely we need to improve the training of people who work with the elderly, both in private residences and in care homes. Dimos Andoniou from the Third Age Observatory, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you, Rosie.
This is the Cyprus News Digest with Rosie Haralambous.
This afternoon at 3 o'clock, the bicommunal peace initiative, United Cyprus, is inviting everyone to join them at a gathering at the Ios Dometios checkpoint in Nicosia. They're calling for a solution, finally, to all these disagreements about opening new crossing points. Christos Efthimiou joins us to tell us what it's all about. Christos, this has been tit for tat and silly little disagreements between the leaders of the two sides in Cyprus, and I presume that you're hoping that this gathering will put some pressure on them to get their act together.
Exactly, this is what we are trying to do. We have, of course, been doing that all along the way, trying to push them to come forward. The fact that there is a stalemate in the solution process and no negotiations, it's actually creating a negative atmosphere, and is the least thing that can be done is at least to facilitate people to cross by opening new checkpoints. It is a necessity because thousands of people are crossing. A piece of statistics maybe which is a bit astonishing is that since 2003, around 150 million crossings have taken place on the existing crossing points.
Well, that clearly shows that an awful lot of people, both sides of the Green Line, like to cross over to the other sides. I know many of them have friends on the other side, and of course an awful lot of them also have jobs, which means they have to cross the checkpoints. But yes, particularly the Ios Dometios one in Nicosia has seen huge long queues. How long do people have to wait there to actually show their papers and get across?
Yes, exactly, and that's one of the reasons we are actually holding the event there, because more than a year now, they're supposed to have agreed to improve the facilities in the area by building new actual positions of people being able to show their papers. And despite the fact that it's all agreed, and if you hear all three sides, including the UN, they say that everything is agreed, but still the works have not commenced. And it seems it will take quite a few months still. So we want to push on that as well. There's no reason why this procedure is taking so long. So one of the reasons we are holding the event there is to push for the works to commence immediately.
But of course, they wouldn't need all those works. If they opened more checkpoints across other areas, everybody wouldn't have to go to the same one.
Exactly. And this is what we're aiming at. There are so many communities and other entities asking for more checkpoints to be open, and they have to proceed on that. They have differences, as you said. It seems that there is a strong intent to open a checkpoint at Nyamilia Hisbollah on the part of the Turkish Cyprus, but they don't agree on the Athena and Kokina crossing of the buffer zone directly to Nicosia and on the other side at Kokina. Turkish Cypriots are very negative on that issue. So they need a bit of a creative approach. It seems that there are things on the table. There have been discussions and efforts to be able to find solutions to that. There is a bit of a need for things to go forward, and we are a bit hopeful that with a bit of pressure, they can at least show some creativity to solve issues that are there, and they have solutions if they so wish.
It's the if they so wish, isn't it? Because
Yes,
we see
exactly.
so often that our leaders back off if it means anything that could be considered a positive. Okay, so you want people at the Ios Domedios checkpoint in Nicosia, 3:00, I think, this afternoon. I
Yes.
suppose speeches, a little bit of chanting. What's going to happen? Very quickly.
Yeah, what we are basically asking people is they come a bit earlier than that, at 3:00, leave their cars a bit back where there are parking areas and walk and go through the checkpoints on either side. And we're going to meet in the buffer zone between the two checkpoints, create some kind of a human chain, so to speak, with banners and pickets. We will be having leaflets handed over to the people crossing there. And at about 3:30, we will be meeting there the press to read out the common statement, which is supported by a lot of organizations and parties, political parties. The mayors of Nicosia will be there, and hopefully from other areas as well.
Well, hopefully you'll get a lot of support from both sides. So 2:30 people should aim for, and they can find all the details, I think, on your Facebook page if they look for Bi-Communal Peace Initiative United Cyprus.
Exactly, yes.
Christos Efthimiou, many thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Keep up to date with events in Cyprus and around the world with the Cyprus News Digest.
Friends of the Earth have issued an invitation to all and sundry to join them this coming Sunday for climate workshops. To tell us all about them, we welcome the project manager of Friends of Earth Cyprus, Olivia Skordi. Olivia, I know you do a lot of workshops at Friends of the Earth, actually, but tell us about these two happening on Sunday.
So this upcoming Sunday, we're going to have a climate workshops. We're collaborating with Agno Store and Anna, that she's a trainee and she's doing wonderful workshops around biodiversity and climate change. It's going to be a full day, so it's going to be 2 workshops, 3 hours per workshop. The first one is called Climate Frisk, and it's based on climate change, so it's going to be a game, actually, that is a very interactive game, and it's going to be like a puzzle. Where participants, they're going to have the space to discuss, to be empowered and collaborate in order to find solutions regarding climate change. And it's going to be from 11 until 2. And then we're going to have a short lunch break. And then we're going to go to Agno Store, where we're going to have the second activity that it's going to be on biodiversity, and there is going to be like a collage that it's going to be collaboratively done by the participants. So there is going to be also some space of discussion on how to restore our environment and how to find different solutions on how people can take more actions in the communities.
Okay, are these aimed at children, at grown-ups? Who are you hoping will come to them?
It's gonna be like for all ages, but usually it's for adults. But it's openly also for younger generations. As Friends of the Earth, we have a project that is called Embrace the World, which is a European project, and it's open for young people as we want them to be like more part on our decision making and in the more creative sector on how to empower young people and bring them to the table of decision making regarding the environment. So it's open for everyone.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the logistics, because it's at two different places. Are they close to each other? You're going to walk from one to the other? Do people need to have cars available? How's it going to work?
Yeah, actually, they can come to both of them or either in one of them. The first one is going to be from 11 until 2 at Friends of the Earth Cyprus office that is in Limassol, and then it's very nearby, like 10 minutes walk, the Agno grocery store, which is the first zero waste shop in Cyprus, where it's going to be the second part from 4 until 7 p.m.
Zero waste grocery shops are becoming rather popular, aren't they? Do you know how that one is doing, and are people getting used to the idea of taking their own containers when they go shopping?
I think it's a project that it's very new in Cyprus, but in the rest of the Europe, it's a very upscaling process of taking your own stuff, choosing like more locally to buy, and creating this atmosphere of community building, but also of choosing our food and resources, but also reducing the plastic usage. They're doing perfectly good as a store. They're promoting a lot of things in their social media towards zero waste lifestyle. So as Friends of the Earth also, we support them as we are aligning our values and our missions with their work. And yeah, I mean, if you join the workshop, you will have the chance to see the store and learn a bit more on their work on their behalf.
Right, now then, I heard about this because you sent me an email, but for people who aren't on your mailing list, the general public, how can they find out about it? Do you have a Facebook event? Do you have something on Instagram? How can other people find out about it? And possibly, it says a registration form. I guess they have to sign up.
Yeah, we have like the Instagram and Facebook page of Friends of the Earth Cyprus that it's been, Agno has created the post and we're collaborating. So you can find everything at Foy Cyprus, Facebook and Instagram. And also there is like the participation registration form where we kindly request the participants to sign up so that we know about the logistics, how many people they're going to be, because it's for a small group activity, so there is a limited also spaces. So if you sign up, it's for free. And also we have the option, if you would like to donate also to the organization, to support us. We promote more for them to be able to get the mailing also if they become members. So yeah, everything is there, and if they have also more questions, they can contact us like through chat.
And for people who aren't online very much or not on social media, a phone number perhaps, or a website, or both?
Agno has already created the social media part. They can also mail us at the email of the organization, which is the info email of Friends of the Earth. So they can contact us from there, and also through our website we have all the contact information of Friends of the Earth. They can give us a call if they have questions, and we are more than open and welcome to, if anyone is interested through this process, to contact us.
So that's foecyprus.org, I think the website, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
And a phone number possibly?
I can give my phone number as I am the one that is co-organizing it. So it's 99 24 85 09.
99248509. Asked to speak to Olivia, who is the project manager at FOE Cyprus. Olivia, I hope it's very successful. We need to get this message out there to as many people as possible. Many thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Well, that about wraps up this edition of the Cyprus News Digest. Many thanks for your company. Hope you'll join me next week. Till we meet again, take care and God bless. Bye-bye now.